classic newbie error. I kept myself muted. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first really official Tarot Tuesday live stream. Last week, we did a test stream to see what the software was like, and it seems good, so I've upgraded today. I've tried to get Telegram to work, but it seems that it's not, so I'm going to have to investigate that a little bit more. And I wanted to include Rumble as well because it's now possible, but it turns out that Rumble requires you to have at least 25 subscribers. So if you really want me to do Rumble, then you're going to need to go to my Rumble channel, which is, I'll just find it for you. There we go. So you can go there and you can subscribe. When I have 25 people there, then I will include Rumble because I like Rumble. So there we go. So we had a few issues last week, and I believe we've sorted them out. So Facebook, the event had become private last week, but now it's public, so everybody can see it. I'm going to have to test that you can see these the right way around this time. It looks like it. So that was another issue. There was a reversal. And then the other thing was that the live stream cut out after an hour. And that was a limitation on the free version of this software, which was not clear at all. So we won't have that issue tonight. So thank you for those who bared with me last time through those things, and we've got ourselves to this point where we're a little better place. So I want to start just by saying that, because we had the question last time whether I do one-on-one readings, and I do. So you can go to my website, which is this, and I'll show you it in just a second. I only have a limited number of slots right now because I'm about to go on a course and I'll probably be doing some traveling in May. But I do have slots available. And I'll show you a little bit about what the website looks like. Let me see. Oh, that's the wrong one. Share screen. Brave tab. There we go. So this is what my website looks like. Right now we have an offer that your first session with me, whether it's a tarot reading or you just want some intuitive guidance, is free. I don't know how much longer that offer will actually be up. So if you want to take advantage of that, then you probably want to do that sooner than later. And then you can see this is where you can find out about all the shows and the groups that I do, and then tarot readings, and then the intuitive guidance, which is about helping you rebuild that relationship with your intuition and build that toolbox that you need so that whenever life comes to you with some surprises, you know how to navigate them. And maybe you want to use your own intuition in a similar way as I am. So that is my website there, and you're welcome to check that out. So I will just come back here. Okay, so today what we're going to do is the first session is going to be ask the cards anything. Now I do have some ground rules, and you can find out what they are at the page that has all the tarot. Where's the tarot one? Ooh. Maybe I didn't set that one up. No. Okay, I'll have to set it up for next time. But if you go to my website and then look at the events and shows, there's a tarot show page, and that has some ground rules. But basically, if my intuition says that I shouldn't answer a question at a particular time, then I won't. But otherwise, I will answer your questions in the chat. If you want to do a priority question, you can tip, and the tip URL is there, and then I will put your question ahead of the queue. Otherwise, just ask it in the chat and I'll try and get to you when I can. I'm going to start with one of my questions because I was in the bath earlier to just decompress before the live stream, and I was kind of like curious what questions might be good to answer. And in the weekly reading that I do before this live stream, some of the guidance was about healing relationships, and it came to me that, you know, relationships, yes, it can be between people, but it can also be between sort of concepts like time and money and things like that. So I thought I would do one of those questions, and that will give you some time to think about what questions you might like me to ask on your behalf. And then once we've done that, I will end with a monthly zodiac spread, because today's the last day of January. We're about to start February, so it would be nice to do a forecast for the collective to see what we might have in store for February and what we might need to know. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now. And yeah, okay. So I'm going to start with, I think, let's see. How can we heal our relationship with money? So this came up for me today, and I'm sure a lot of people, because it's a lot of people, it's either payday today or tomorrow. So I thought I would start with that, and then we'll see if we got any questions in the chat. So let's see what. Okay, so I'm feeling. I've got this oracle deck called the Embody Oracle deck, and it was actually the first oracle deck that I got. And I find that it's good in some situations and not others. But I found myself picking the deck up today. So I thought, okay, so maybe I'm going to use this. And I feel like I'd just like to see what card we might get to see if it might help, because we're talking about healing relationships here. And this is a very divine feminine oracle deck. And so it's good for maybe things like this. So we've got a lovely, great big heart there on the tree. So it seems appropriate for this kind of question. So how can we best heal our relationship with money? Okay. Okay. So when I pick an oracle card, unless I know it inside out, I like to just see what my intuition brings first, and then I look up the reading. So we got cleanse your body. So I just want to make sure that, yeah, they're showing up the right way around. Just want to be 100% sure before I go. So cleanse your body. It was interesting because this question came to me whilst I was in the bath. And I think sometimes these, we get a lot of stuck trauma in the body, and sometimes the best way to release this is to do things like detoxing, or to do things that help to actually physically release, whether that is like massage or even crying something out. So cleansing could also be, because with water we could be talking about crying as well. But I feel that I'm curious to see what this one actually says, but it's bringing it back to the body. So the body is key for us to actually build a better relationship with money, because money in the end run is energy, and the body's, you know, a great conduit for energy. So if we have a stuck relationship with money, or we have insecurities, and they can block certain energy from flowing in the body. So if we do things to support the body, this could really help us to actually have a good foundation to actually rebuild that relationship with money in a healthy way. So I'm gonna just have a little look and see what the actual card is. So does it have a number on here? 20. Okay. What I like about this deck is it actually gives you something practical to do to help, which is why I was thinking of using it. Okay, so it says, sister, doesn't it feel good to feel beautiful and know that you are taking excellent care of your body? Are there ways you can honor your body and health, but you haven't given yourself the time and space to do so? So that immediately thinks, how many of us actually don't do self-care, don't spend the money on ourselves because we feel that, paying a certain bill or is more important. And so we put off doing things that actually take care of ourselves and our bodies, right? So that's immediately what I thought of when I heard that. So this message comes as an invitation to do some kind of cleanse or fast that will allow your precious body some time to reset. It could be a one-day green juice or water fast, or cutting out some foods for a few days that commonly cause inflammation and digestive issues such as sugar, dairy, and gluten. Notice how it makes you feel physically and emotionally when you do this. Fasting can bring up a lot of emotions, so be sure to tell a friend, mentor, or counselor that you may be calling on them if you need some emotional support. So yeah, bringing up emotions is a great way to clear any of our insecurities or survival triggering that comes up around money. You can also work towards raising your vitality and health by taking a class, working with a health coach, or reading some books that will help you understand your dietary needs more fully. You deserve to make your body's health a high priority in your life, and you will notice that when you take one step in the direction of doing so, several more opportunities will show up to support you. The universe wants you to be happy and vibrant, and it is now the time to reclaim your sparkle. It's very easy when we're concerned about money for it to really sort of hang over us. I noticed that today because I started today in a really high vibrational state, and then there was some admin I had to do, mostly around bills and sorting that out, and I unfortunately couldn't put it off until tomorrow because I didn't really want to do it today, and immediately, because there were all some technical issues and all of that, I just felt that being sapped right out of me, that nice high vibrational state. So I think there's something to bear in mind. So we need to do the things that help keep us in that kind of sparkly state, as it likes to say here. So let's see what else it has to say. So there's an embody invitation called a pattern interrupt. Focus. Liven up your belly and kitchen. Make or buy yourself some green juice today. Turn on some music you love and dance your way through the kitchen while doing a review of your pantry and fridge. Clear out any things that you know are not beneficial for you and make space for new, elevating choices. Treat yourself to some high-quality items and supplements that you know will help elevate your health to the next level. You may wish to ask a health-savvy friend or mentor for some recommendations. Yeah, because that's something that we can skimp on too, is the healthy food and supplements and things like that. When we're concerned about money, so actually being able to say, look, okay, things may not be as abundant as I'd like right now, but I'm still going to prioritize my health, even though that's the case. So that's what it made me think of there, reading that. So don't compromise yourself. If you want to build a better relationship with money, clean your body and don't compromise your self-care. That's what this message is coming through. So that's really interesting. I feel like I also want to do something else on this question. So still waiting for some questions to come in. Let me just check the tip jar. Yeah. All right. I'm going to put that up here right now. No, that one. Okay, so which one? I feel like I'm being called somewhere else. Okay, I think the Spirit Animal Oracle. How can we, as a collective, heal our relationship with money? to. Well, I just realized that I didn't bring my other microphone up, so I hope the audio is okay. Feel free to let me know in the chat. Okay, so we got the peacock spirit, let it shine, which I think kind of goes well with the cleanse your body one. So especially since it said don't forget to sparkle at the end, right? Yeah, so I think, but this also feels like don't be afraid to radiate your light. Don't let the handling of money and concerns about it dim your light, so that when you're actually conversing about it or thinking about it, you don't automatically go into this pattern where your body is like automatically going into a stress state because you're thinking of money. So maybe how we converse about it, how we feel about it, is creating a state around the concept of money, and therefore, just by thinking about it or it coming up in conversation, we go back to what it is we're familiar with. So if we're constantly stressed about it, we're going to sort of trigger a stress response. If we can practice being light around it, being what's the word? Not being so heavy with it, not being so serious, not being in that sort of survival state, not being, and that's not to say that you be careless with money and just be frivolous and spend it, without thinking about your needs being covered, with your household. But there's two extremes there. So you could go really crazy and just spend it on shopping or going to the pub or whatever, and then leave nothing for your bills. That's not good. But you could go to the other extreme and just only pay your bills, never ever think of yourself. So it's trying to find that middle line, and then also being willing to think about money, talk about money in a way that is in a positive and light energy, so that you're rebuilding your relationship with money every time you speak about it. So that's what's come up with for me. I'm just going to pull the Oracle book up, and this is 46. Okay. Okay. So here's the Oracle message. And like I said in the weekly reading, I've since learned that the protection message is only for when the card is reversed. So I'm not going to say it this time because it came up the right way around. So the Oracle message is, when is the last time you took a tail feather and shined your light for all to see? Within each of us is a peacock spirit yearning for expression, and you are called now to show the world the gorgeous creature you are, for you are a manifestation of spirit. Come out of the shadows. So that's, yeah, it makes me feel like the whole, whenever you're thinking about money, don't stay in the sort of shadow aspect of it. Be willing to come into the light aspect of it. Build a feeling towards money that is positive. Peacock spirit says, and shows your true colors so that others may be inspired to express their own uniqueness. And this could also be in terms of how you're willing to not just take care of yourself, but how you're willing to treat yourself. So being willing to wear the nice clothes that you have, or maybe the jewelry you have, or being willing to create nice sacred space around you, even if it doesn't take a lot of money, but being willing to create a sort of positive air around you and in your home. Dance as if you remember that you are made of stardust and grace, filled with life force, energy, and sparkling light. You are a channel of divine love, and your dance is one of a kind. Catch the light and help it to shimmer, and dance in celebration of your good fortune of being right here, right now. Yeah. Spirit wants you to be joyful so that others may get up and dance along with you. Yeah, see, good fortune. So if you are in a space of, I am fortunate, I am grateful, I attract that which I need, even if the reality is that it might be a little, you might have to make decisions on builds that you would rather not, or whatever the case may be. But if you show the universe that you are not willing to be dimmed by that, not focusing on the lack, but focusing on the potential abundance that is around the corner, and that you have the ability to actually attract what you need when you need it. And if it's not coming, to know that there is a lesson and an opportune moment at some other time when it will. Because if you can be in that space, then you're not creating the reality of lack and scarcity. You're creating a connection to abundance, and a trust that will come when it needs to. And if you can build that trust, then whenever there's some moment like I had earlier today, you're going to have more resilience to overcome it, and to trust that what you need will come in the end. So, okay, so that's great. I'm going to just shuffle that back in. Okay, so I'm just going to check in the chat. All right. Okay. So what I'm going to do, since we're waiting for some questions to come in, is I'm just going to turn my notifications off. I meant to do that earlier. I'm going to do the same question, but I'm going to do it for time, because as we talked about last time, time is kind of weird. It seems to go quicker than it used to. It's harder to get as much done. But also, our relationship to time can be fraught when we are trying to fit loads of things in, or never feeling like we have enough time, or we're rushing around to other people's schedules. And so I just feel like I'd like to do that one as well. If you have any questions, then I really would like them in the chat, because if I don't have any questions by the end of this one, then I will go on to the Zodiac spread. So I'm just going to check if there's no donations come in. No. Okay. So I think I'm going to do a 3-card spread on this one. Just 3 cards or 2? No, 3. 3. Okay. So yeah, how can we heal? I'll just pop it up. How can we heal our relationship with time? Okay, apparently I have to do 4. I don't normally do 4. Okay. So I'm gonna put these. Okay. Let's see. message it has. So the first card we get is the Page of Swords. I have the feeling how we speak about time makes a big difference. So if we're constantly talking about, oh, I just never have enough time, I'm always rushed off my feet, then that's the reality we're creating. Whereas if we can speak about it in terms of, I always have enough time, or that what is it? Or that at least the words I have around time are positive and are coming from a place of acceptance and allowance rather than just like, again, coming from a lack place. So feeling that you don't have enough of it suggests that you have almost too much to do, right? You have more than you can actually do. Whereas if you can talk about it in a way of, well, I got what I did done today, and I'll just finish. I'll do the things that I was planning on doing but didn't get to tomorrow, and actually being a bit more relaxed about it. Then we can build our time, because I think the way we think about it and the way we speak about it, I think is very important. Then the next card we got is the Victory card, the Success card. So this can also be about taking a victory lap and sharing the message of success. So I feel that if we can come to the end of a day and see what we've done as a success, as what was necessary and needed, rather than feeling like, oh, I'm behind and I have to catch up, that would actually really help, so that we can feel that the day was successful, what needed to get done, what got done, and everything else was just our plans that weren't quite in alignment with actually how it was supposed to unfold that day. So I think if we can see the day as a success, then we'll build a better relationship with time, rather than feeling like we're constantly behind on the things that we do. And then we have, interestingly enough, the Ten of Wands. And it's usually about things being just way too hard. And I get the feeling that what this is saying is that the way time is right now is actually a little bit difficult for us. Not only are we not getting the same amount done in a day if we compare it to 10 years ago, or whatever the case may be, because time is kind of speeding up and becoming more cyclical. But it's this transition, I think, is having a really hard impact on our conditioning and our way of comparing ourselves to the past. Because if I compare what I used to do 10 years ago, when I was, traveling 3 hours a day, doing a full-time job, then coming home, doing the kitchen and the cooking and looking after the animals and blah, 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 running around all over the place. That was really hard. But trying to do that in today's time would be even harder. So I think what we have to do is consider our expectations for time. But also the other thing is, this is a 10, so this is the 10 of Wands, so it's a completion thing. So I think maybe what it's trying to say is the hard part may be about to come to an end, like we're just getting through the hard part of this transition. I think a lot of people this year are going to be reconsidering what they do. I think this is going to be a big year for people starting their own businesses. Astrologically, it looks in favor of that. And so a lot of us may come to the point where we've just kind of had enough of the way we're doing things right now, and trying to find a better work-life balance, a better a relationship with also being able to manage our own time so that it's not somebody else's schedule that we're sticking to. So I think we're probably going to see a lot of people actually reaching their limit with the way things are right now and actually shifting gear to something that's more manageable. So it might be a good year to reevaluate what you're doing, what's working, what's not working, and what you could do differently that would give you control of your time in that sense. And that would also help you build a better relationship because when you can manage your own time, you are able to actually get into a better flow. You can actually sort of go, okay, it's time to do this. I go and do this. Okay, let's do this. And you find your own cycle. Whereas when it's always about someone else's deadlines and the meetings and stuff like that, and that's not to say that you shouldn't have meetings and groups and stuff, but when you can decide rather than it's decided for you, shall I say, it can really help build a better relationship with time because you start listening to yourself more about what you need. It's like, can I do this? Have I got time for this? Do I have the energy for this? Or is it too hard and I need to do some self-care or cancel an appointment or something like that? I think you start to actually think about yourself in the relationship with time rather than it just being you're up against the clock. It's like thinking about how you work with time, what time you need to do things. So that's kind of what I'm getting from this reading here, which is, yeah, very interesting. So, last call for questions. Otherwise, I'm going to probably move on to the zodiac spread. Actually, before I do that, I think what I'll do is I'm just gonna pull a card. This is a deck that's just the major arcana, and I think I just want to pull a card for what is the sort of archetypal energy that is most impacting us this week right now that we should be aware of. So I kind of like doing that. I think I did that last time. I think I was almost there and I went past it. Is that good? One more. Okay, 3. Is it stuck? There we go. Oh, the Chariot. Okay. So the Chariot is quite often all about taking action. So I think we've been driven to take action on things this week. And we can feel it, and it can also be about taking a bit of a risk. So if there's something that you've been considering doing, but there's a part of you that's, a little nervous because it means putting yourself out there or something like that, then this is the kind of energy that we're under this week. So it might be a good time to look at it. Also, the Chariot can be very much about the ego versus the spirit in terms of what's driving us. So, the ego can be rushing ahead in the Chariot, but actually the Chariot is being pulled by spirit. In this case, we've got the horses with wings. In the Rider-Waite, we've got like sphinxes. So spirit animals, which we have here. And also the other thing that's standing out for me as I look at this is armor, the armor of the soldier. I feel like we might be feeling a little vulnerable. And so there's the possibility that we might armor up a little bit. So be aware of moments where you might be triggered and sort of like keeping people at bay, and maybe. So that's something else I would be aware of. So there might be times where we feel like we just want to sort of kind of like curl up and hide somewhere kind of thing, you know, or maybe there's something we've got to deal with and we really don't want to deal with it, something like that. But we are being guided by spirit through this, so we have to keep moving forward. So, interesting. All right, so I'm going to move on to the zodiac spread, I think. I don't think we have any questions. Let me just see. No, okay. Still getting used to this software. All right. Okay, so I'm going to put these to the side now. All right, so for those of you who don't know a zodiac spread, it's going to be one card for each of the 12 houses of the zodiac, and each card will represent one zodiac sign. And I may place a card in the middle, and that just be the atmosphere, how it's kind of showing up or appearing to us right now. But I'll see if that feels right once I do the spread. This is my first time doing a zodiac spread. Woohoo! I've been wanting to do that for a while. I've seen a number of people doing them, and I quite like the layout, and I'm learning bits and pieces about astrology here and there, and what I do know I find really fascinating, even though I haven't dived deeply into it. When you do tarot, it's kind of like it helps to know a little bit about it. So particularly with the symbology, and some of the cards represent certain planets and certain signs and stuff like that. So it helps to know a little bit about it. So yes. Oh, hello, Queen of Sheba. Nice to see you. Well, I was just about to start a zodiac spread, but if you're very quick and have a question, you can ask me, and I'll do a reading for you. I've still got to shuffle, so yeah, you can have a reading. Do you have a question, or do you just want a general reading? Who is moving towards me? Okay. Who is moving towards me? Okay. That's an interesting question. Okay. No, I think I want to stick with the tarot deck. Okay. Okay. So this is obviously quite a general question. So I'm just going to see what comes through. So the underlying influence and in the past is the Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups can be, particularly since we've got this card underneath, I'm going to take it in the more sort of negative aspect, which could be, it could be about sadness, it could be about depression, it could be about ruminating on things, being overly sort of obsessed and focused on something, perhaps to the detriment of other things. So I think whoever this may be, or whatever the relationship is between you, that might have come from a place where there's been a little bit of that kind of energy. You are showing up as the Seven of Wands. So this card can be about finding your particular way. So it could be that there are people who, or there's a situation or people who are sort of coming at you in ways that doesn't feel aligned, and you're trying to find your own, navigate your own way through it. So you're sort of coming from, you've got the high ground where you are at, but you're kind of having to duke it out a little bit to sort of like stay there. And whoever is coming towards you is represented by the Knight of Swords. So this is an interesting one, because I tend to read this a couple of ways. It can be somebody literally coming in like a white knight coming in for the rescue kind of thing. But it could also be someone who's almost like rushing in a bit too fast, rushing ahead too fast without thinking about it too clearly. Perhaps somebody who's a bit of a fixer, somebody who maybe wanting to fix the situation rather than just holding space for it. But this can be quite a positive card. I mean, it's interesting because the atmosphere between you and the person is this. So we've got a lot of stress in a situation, and this was underneath the Queen of Cups, which is why I sort of took it more in the sort of like sadness, the sort of more negative aspects of it. But the stress between you, whoever it is, almost seems unnecessary. Like there's maybe some awkwardness or something that's keeping, it's kind of like a keeping you up at night kind of card. But usually this card, unless it's really badly aspected, it's not that badly aspected, can be unnecessary stress. But it could be that there's, some tension there. However, the outcome you've got is the Ace of Swords. So what's interesting about this is this could be Ace of Swords about communication. So I'm wondering whether you need to, there's some communication that needs to happen, almost like a fresh start in the communication, because I think that there may be some misunderstandings, some illusions around maybe the stress. So maybe sometimes we focus on things that we read into things, maybe, reading between the lines, and we actually kind of like get off track with that, and it's not really based in any reality. So it feels like you need to maybe talk this out actually, and work through whatever the misconceptions are, because you've got the World here, which means I think you're going to come to a whole new level of understanding each other. Perhaps you're going to clear the air and realize where you kind of like maybe misunderstood one another, or misunderstood where the stress points were coming from, something like that. Because I have the feeling whoever this is, you might get to a whole new level of your relationship. There might be a completion point here, and you actually kind of level up. Either that, or it could be that, it comes to a natural conclusion, but I'm not really getting a loss card here. So I don't think you're going to necessarily lose this relationship. It is possible that maybe you see through, in the conversation, you maybe see through the person a bit, and maybe evaluate whether this is actually someone who you want to be with. But I'm not necessarily getting that. I think there's potential here with that ace to begin again, but I think it might need a tough conversation, whatever that might be. So I hope that helps. It's a bit hard not knowing the person, but that's kind of what I'm getting here. And it could be that the talking it out may not even necessarily be with the person itself. It might be there's somebody else that you need to speak to. It might be that speaking to a friend or a family member will help you sort of like clear your head and figure out what the situation is and see where you're kind of like getting lost in the ruminations and where reality actually is. So that's another possibility, depending on the situation. So that's kind of what I'm getting. So yeah, I hope that helps. I don't know if it answers who it is, but it certainly seems to answer the relationship. I mean, it could be since it was this that it was actually a man. I'm not sure because that was the person you were talking about. Yeah, but it doesn't look like it's a relation that you're talking about. Not particularly. Let's see. Is this a past person or a new person? Let me just pull a couple more clarifiers. Is it a past person or a new person? Okay, so the first card I got was this card. This is a breakthrough card, but it can also be actually about marriage. So maybe this is it could be about breaking through whatever the stress is with the relationship. But then we get this card here, and it's quite often about things being a little hidden. So it's I think there will be some information. It's something's going to come forward that's going to sort of wrong way around. Help you sort of break through who this is. So it's like I think you're waiting on something to sort of come forward here, like, and there's something that you're not quite seeing yet, but at some point you're going to have a breakthrough, and it's going to become clear who this person is. But it doesn't really say if that's past or present. But the cards sometimes just tell you what you need to know. So I can pull two more just to see. You never know, but then. Okay. So we get the King of Cups, and we get the Eight of Wands. So it's the eight. Yeah, it is the Eight of Wands. It's often about swift messages coming through. So I think there's a man who will probably be, if it's not already in your life, will be contacting you soon. But I'm still not getting if this is past or present. I'll be honest with you. Yeah. However, the only thing that I would say here that might possibly indicate that it's new is because we've got the Ace. That's usually new things. So it could actually be this is a new person thinking about it. Yeah. I hope that helps. Yeah, I think it will make sense with time. Yeah. And sometimes it's hard answering those questions because the cards can be a little elusive too. So yeah. Okay. But okay, so thank you very much for asking the question. And you're welcome back anytime. I do this every Tuesday, so yeah. Maybe later on, if you get a bit more information, you have another question, you can come back. All right. So now I'm going to get on to hey Trugo. Nice to meet you. If you have a question, You might just be able to get it in. Yeah, well, I've only just started this one. This is my second one. So you're very welcome. But if you have a question, you're welcome to ask, and I'll do it. Otherwise, I will go on to my wrap up with the monthly zodiac spread. So I'll give you a moment. Okay, so I'm just gonna hide that one since we finished it. Okay, just give you a little moment. Okay, yeah, we can do a general question. Yeah. Let's see. Just seeing what deck might want to call me. I think I'll stick with this. Yeah, you don't have to have a specific question. You can just ask a reading. And I'm going to do a general spread afterwards for everybody. Big one. So, is that... No, I need to shuffle some more apparently. Okay, so I'm going to put this one on the screen just so I have it in front of me. Okay. Wow, okay, I have to do 4 again this time. I don't think I've ever done 4 before, but there we go. All right, so, wow, 2 major arcana right off the bat. Just going to take that off now, just so you can see a little better. Okay. Wow. Okay, you got 3 major arcana here. Okay. So the underlying influence is the Knight of Pentacles, and this could be also the past as well. So you're coming from a place where you've been maybe a little bit cautious, a bit sort of like watching things from afar, maybe being a bit more on the practical side of things. And there's another word that I know I want to say, but it's not coming to me right now. But anyway, so you're coming from this space. Now, your current situation, you're showing up as a tower, which says to me that something rather big's happening to you right now, or about to. This could be about kind of shocking revelations. It could be about things that kind of pull the rug under your feet, a big shift up in the energy. However, the situation or how you're doing right now is coming up as the Empress, which is an incredibly abundant card, incredibly nurturing card. So I feel like there's something happening that is shifting you towards more abundance right now, and you're kind of like in uncharted territory. This is a new situation for you, and you're kind of like watching things from maybe kind of watching things that you've invested in, or watching things that you have placed value in kind of play out, but you're not sure how things are going to go because it's almost like you don't have a reference point. The outcome is the Surrender card. So something is coming to a conclusion, and adding clarity, we've got the Emperor and we've got the Two of Cups. I have to get used to which way around this is. So the Two of Cups. So the Emperor was first. So the Emperor can be about, it could be about father figures. It could be about systems. It's the Aries kind of energy. So it could be a lot about action, taking action. And then we have this card, which can be about soul contracts. It could be about soulmates if we're talking about a relationship, agreements we make with one another. So I'm feeling like there's something that you need to almost like accept that there is something you need to take action on, I think. And it may be that it's going to come clear in a little while, or you're suddenly going to get the resolve to do it. This could be that there could even be with the Empress and then this underneath. It could be something to do with a relationship, or it could be like a partnership, like in terms of like something you do together, or like a project with somebody, something like that. Yeah, I'm just trying to see if there's anything else that wants to come through. Because I feel like maybe you've been, with this card, you might have been holding back on something, waiting to see how something's going to pan out. But I think you're being pushed into it now, whatever it is with that tower. But it's going to lead to a very positive outcome. It just needs you to sort of accept that this is happening, and know that there are people. I feel that this is something that is probably destined, and you've probably got people that you've made soul agreements with to help you through this, or to meet you, or to make it happen, whatever it is that's about to occur in your life. Yeah, I think, is that everything? But it definitely seems like it's potentially a big time for you. So, but you've got backup. So I hope that helps. Oh, okay, good. Okay. So I'm hitting a lot of different points in your life. Been doing a lot of different things, a lot of things to make me grow and improve. As exceptions, maybe aspects in my life. Yeah, this is very much about growth, this card here. And it could be because you got the tower. It's like you're shaking up everything, like you were saying at once. Like you're not just tackling one thing. It's almost like just throw it all in the mix. So that could be what it's representing there. Yeah. But yeah, I feel that with this card, because this could be about sort of systems and structures and endeavors, and the Aries is very much about taking action. So I feel like especially with the Tower card. So I think the action that you're taking, you've had to shake things up, but it's almost like it's necessary action. Yeah. But you've got it's like this is supposed to happen, and you've got the things that you're making agreements with, and potentially some kind of relationships with are going to be a part of that. So yeah. All right, well, good luck with it. I know what it's like to totally change everything about your life, so I've been doing that over the last few years. Okay, well, unless someone else like hops on at the last minute, like the last two people, then I'm going to get on with the monthly spread. So, but thank you very much for asking questions, guys. I'm just getting started with this. What are soul agreements? So soul agreements are when, before you sort of well, I think they can happen in two ways. The way I was thinking about is like before you incarnate into a body here, you make agreements with other souls that they will come in and help you at certain times. So that could be that you agree to have a relationship with someone at a certain time to learn a certain lesson, or it could be that you agree that you're going to start a business and meet with another soul that you know in order to do that. It could be, anything like that. Anytime where something really important is going to happen in your life and you need assistance from other souls. And so you make an agreement. And it could be that you're agreeing also with them to help them with certain lessons as well, or maybe in a past life you helped them and now they're helping you, something like that. So yeah. But I think soul agreements you can decide to end them at some points. You can say the contract is ended, and I think it's probably possible that to make them either while you're living or perhaps in dream state. I don't know, but that's the whole idea. It's when you make agreements with other souls to help you through certain phases of your life. All right. Okay, definitely supposed to happen, all of this. Yeah, I was definitely getting that feeling. That was definitely a feeling of like, whoo, you got some stuff going on. So interesting time in your life. It can sometimes be a little bit daunting, but it's normally always worth it in the end. So good luck with it all. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to do a monthly zodiac spread now. So this is my first time doing it. I wanted to do this in a long time. And it's going to help me practice my astrology. So let's see. Yeah, okay. All right. So, and I've got to learn to do this upside down. So let's see. So, yeah. So House of Aries, House of Taurus, House of Gemini, House of Cancer. So I'm going to just have to juggle this around to make sure I can get it in somehow. We just have to lose them off a bit. Okay. So Leo. Virgo. Yeah, Libra. Scorpio. Oh, interesting. Sag. Capricorn. Aquarius. And Pisces. All right, does that fit in? Yeah, okay. And I feel like I want to pull one for the middle. Oh, interesting. Okay. So, okay, so I'm going to do this in an aspecting kind of way. So we've got the House of Aries, which is like ourself, how we present ourselves. It's kind of like our identity, and we're showing up as Temperance. And Temperance is about divine timing, and it's about can be a very healing card as well. But we also have on the opposite side, on Libra, where I'm aspecting, we have the Five of Swords. So I think we are healing from disagreements that we've had, and minor setbacks that we've had, particularly around words. So maybe things that we have said to other people, thought about other people in the past. And regards to ourselves, so so maybe this is actually going to be a good month for maybe a bit of self-care. And I'm feeling like this could also be about how we judge ourselves, the things we say to ourselves, so like negative thoughts. So this could be around a good time to focus on healing our negative thoughts and the way that we take them on board and sort of internalize them. So this could be a good time to actually focus on really paying attention to how we speak to ourselves, because how we speak to ourselves also is how we speak to others. And Libra, which is here, is very much about relationships. So a good opportunity to focus on how we actually talk about ourselves and others. Then we have, in Taurus, we have the Page of Cups. So, and that is opposite the Hermit here. So I feel like, so Taurus could be about our values, our finances, material possessions and things like that. Very interesting. So I feel like, so this is a cup, so it's an emotional cup. So I'm feeling like maybe we need to be it's a month where we need to sort of take stock to sort of refill our cup, so to speak. So like some self-care time. And the Hermit is very much about going inwards, a time of going inwards and self-reflection. So I think we're going to need time to ourselves perhaps this month, to recharge sometimes. There's also a card about sort of wisdom as well. So maybe tuning into our inner wisdom, which I'm all about, with our intuition. So this might be a time where we really need to tap that. We may also have some surprises show up around our values and our perhaps our finances as well. It may be that on a financial scale, we might need to sort of scale back a bit, perhaps make wiser choices about where we spend our money. So yeah, interesting. Okay. Then in the House of Gemini, we have the Queen of Pentacles. Now, the Queen of Pentacles, again, can be a card about self-care, but this is often about a manifestation card. So this can be what we intently focus on is what we manifest. So, and it's in the House of Gemini, which is about thoughts and words and intellect. So I think we have to really, particularly with it being aspected with the Five of Pentacles, be really careful what we wish for, in a sense. Be mindful of where our thoughts go, so that we don't manifest something that we don't want, that could set us back a little bit. Because this card can be about going without things on principle, so that you get to the other side, but you kind of have to sort of tough it out a little bit to get there, but you stood on your principle, kind of thing. I think that the Queen of Pentacles is asking us to be mindful on what we think about and manifest in the world. In Cancer, the House of Cancer, this is like our home, our root. It can be like our family. Again, self-care and emotion, right? So it's like where we're really coming from. We've got the Two of Wands. So this is about being sort of looking at the world from a safe place, a safe distance. It's kind of coming through a gateway. So like you stepped through into something, but you're still looking at it from afar, almost like trying to assess the situation, but you're doing it from a safe place. So I'm feeling like we need to take we really need our home to be safe. Where we're going, it's like there's something that we're going to be in the course of the next year that we're going to be stepping away from, with regards to the things that really matter. So I think maybe there's going to be some self-reflection here about what really matters to us, what is home to us, and really stepping away from the things that, looking for what's missing in our home, actually looking for what's missing, and that makes us feel safe. in our home. So I think that this is going to be a month where we could really reflect on that. What makes a home feel safe to us? Where do we get safety from? How can we do the self-care that we need to do? How can we create a space that's safe for the self-care that we need to do for this month and perhaps in the future? Then we have the House of Leo. So this can be about our romance, love, creativity, things like that. So so things are starting to balance out in that area, and they're probably going to start. The prospects of that are going to start looking up. Like things are going to start turning out better than expected. Like there's a corner that's been turned there. And what's interesting is aspecting that is we have the Queen of Wands, which is an incredibly creative and intuitive card, and somebody who stands in her power. And because this can also be about sexuality as well. And the Queen of Wands is very sexual too. And what's interesting is in the middle we have the Lovers. And so this actually might be a month where we're really looking at relationships as well. So something coming through around that. So we might have a lot of people actually meeting people or reevaluating relationships and getting a step further than they were before, making a shift in their relationships. But being in integrity, because the Queen of Wands is very much about integrity and truth. So what is it that you truly need from your relationships and your creative endeavors, and actually sticking to it, and actually being loyal to the things that you love and that you create. Yeah. Then we have in Virgo, we have the Hierophant, and we have the King of Cups. So the Hierophant is it's an interesting card because when it's well aspect, it can be about almost like teachers and leaders, and perhaps even particularly spiritual teachers and all of that. But it can also be about dysfunctional systems kind of gone awry. It can actually be about control and stuff like that. And we do have we kind of like have a 50-50 here because we have some minor setbacks there. So we might be in the House of Virgo. This is about our daily routines and it's about our health as well. So and we have the King of Cups opposite. And the King of Cups is very much about following your heart, listening to your heart's message. I think that and then we've got the Lovers in the middle. I think our heart is going to be our greatest teacher, even if it means we get into disagreements with others. I think that we have to have the integrity to actually follow our heart and actually let it teach us about ourselves. Find the heart's wisdom, listen to the heart's wisdom, and be willing to follow it, even if it means it kind of gets us into trouble with some people, or it causes us to face or having to have difficult conversations and things like that. So I think that, I think that's what we need to pay attention to there. Then we have Libra. So I think that, because we have this card in Libra, I think we've got some We've got the lovers in the middle. I think we've maybe got some awkward conversations ahead of us this month. Maybe we're starting to open up to like a friend or a family member that we haven't talked to for a bit, but we know something needs addressing. This is going to be a big year for relationships. So I think a lot of us are going to start to have those conversations that need having, whether it's to end, to sort of get closure and to sort of tie up the loose ends and to let it go and make space for something new, or to heal something that's kind of blocked the relationship, or to welcome in something new. But it can be that when this happens, that it can be some awkwardness, or it could be that you have to face an argument that you had, or some anger that you had, and it can't go unresolved anymore. I think those things are coming up to be resolved this year, but it's going to be very healing for us to do so, and it's the time for it. So we need to bear that in mind this month. So this might be a month where that starts to progress forward, or we have to at least think about it, reevaluate our relationships and actually think about, is this a relationship that I'm going to make some progress on this year? Because temperance happens over, we've got a few major arcana here, and they happen over the course of a year, so probably the course of this year for the most part. So it might be a time to start thinking about and preparing yourself for the fact that this is coming. So even because sometimes with really big issues with like relationships that it's maybe you've had an argument, you fell out, but it's like a family member say, at some point you realize that, okay, we're going to have to talk this out at some point, and this might be one of those years where that stuff kind of happens. So yeah. Then in the house of Scorpio, so this is about like the mystery of life. This tends to be about the dark night of the soul. So it's working through stuff to look at old patterns. It can be about beginnings and endings, and we have the Hermit. So and opposing that is the Page of Cups again. So I feel that this is a time, because this actually can also be about sexuality, this house as well. So it might be a time where we are alone, but maybe we're going to be surprised, and that's going to change. I think that we've had to take time to go inwards in order to really think about what it is that where our patterns are, doing releasing, facing our wounds, and that's been really necessary work. And I think we've been honestly doing that ever since Scorpio season. Perhaps even earlier. It's been a bit of a slog, and it looks like we're still going to be doing some of that work, but it feels like there's going to be an emotional fresh slate, like we're starting anew this month. So the work that we've been doing is almost like creating it's released enough that we can almost really start the healing process to a point where something new can start coming through. Then, so we've got Sagittarius. So this can be about travel. It can be about our philosophies. It can be about adventure. And we have the Five of Pentacles opposite the Queen of Pentacles. So maybe that we're going to see some disruptions in travel this month. I know we've heard of issues with strikes in rails and air travel and stuff like that. But I think it's going to be really important that if you are traveling, to really focus on the outcome that you want. So and it could also be like any time that you're doing something maybe out of the box, really focus on the outcome that you want. And even if you do have a setback in it, it's going to be minor. You're going to get over it fairly quickly. So yeah. Then we have Capricorn, which is about careers, about duties or responsibilities, long-term goals, structure, things like that. I think we're walking away from something this month. I think we are noticing that there's something really missing in this. And we may be sort of like, we've maybe come to this conclusion and we're just like, okay, I know there needs to be a change, but I need to sort of consider that from a distance, like not just run away from my job and then figure it out later. Maybe sort of like, okay, well, I keep going where I'm at, but I know that I'm going to need to sort of step away. There may even be layoffs, perhaps. I don't know. Maybe we're going to see some layoffs, people walking out, like strikes, doing things on principle. So maybe we're going to see some of that going on. Yeah. Interesting. Because the lovers can also be about diplomacy. So it could be that we're seeing like agreements, like with unions and stuff like that. So it could be that there's some kind of diplomatic work going on to try and make some kind of outcome that, that either solves it or starts the process because a strike happens, something like that. So we could be seeing that. And then we've got Aquarius. And that is being aspected by the Six of Pentacles. So with Aquarius, we're dealing with groups, friends, new things, technology, things like that. I think we're being asked in our sort of networks, and the people that we sort of like get together and gather with, that we're really being asked to stand in our integrity and actually say what we mean and not compromise on who we are. And although that can be scary, it's actually going to work out better than expected. Sometimes it can be a little difficult, sort of like being willing to sort of harness that in a in a line and say, no, this is what I think. But it's almost like you're going to get a better response to it than you might have done in the past. Yeah, so if you had a group where there's been a dynamic that hasn't been quite working out, or there's been a difficulty that's been left unsaid, or you're put in a position that kind of questions your integrity, I think you're being told that stick to your guns, because it will work out better than expected, and things are going to balance out. Even if it causes a bit of rocking the boat, it will balance out. So and then finally we have in the house of Pisces, the 12th house, we've got the Knight of Cups, which is aspected by the Hierophant. So this house is about endings. It's about the deep unconscious, very spiritual card, and I think we've been really asked to. I think again the same message as the other one. We're being really asked to follow what feels right for us, to follow our heart, no matter what, and that's going to be the thing that leads us through this month. I think with the lovers, there is a chance that we might make some spiritual connections or deepen some spiritual connections this month, and it might teach us a lot. So there's the possibility of that. Is there anything else? Mm. So I think that's quite an interesting spread. I'm going to take a picture of this and put it up on the Facebook and whatever, so that we have a copy of it. But it feels like it's going to be a big month for relationships, and in some ways, how we show up in the world as well. It feels like this might be a little microcosm for the year to come. Like it's going to be a little test in the water month, because this whole year is going to be about relationships and careers. And I know we've got some big stuff astrologically coming in March. And it could be that this month is almost like the preparation for that, like testing the waters, sort of like getting us to sort of like nudging us towards that, and getting us to sort of prepare in that way. But it's very interesting. So, whatever you feel called to this month, or whoever you feel called to this month to work with, yeah, listen to what your own inner wisdom is and be willing to stick to that, even if it's a bit uncomfortable, even if it causes some uncomfortable conversations, even if you have to step away from something. It's going to be a very healing thing to do, and it's going to put you on the right path. So, wow, what a reading. Okay, so I just want to say thank you, everybody who showed up, and thank you, everyone who's going to watch this on the replay. And I just want to say that if you want to find out what I'm doing, where all my stuff is, you can find me at, let's see, where is it? I've got too many things here. There we go. You can find my website there, and you can read all about what I offer there. I think I just saw something in the chat. Hello, Casey. You just caught me right at the end, I'm afraid. But I hope you're well. And you can always watch the replay afterwards. It's really good to see people I don't personally know, so that it means that it's trickling out there. But it's really good to see you. And you can always come back next Tuesday well, this has been going an hour and a half, so it's at 7 UK, 8 Central Europe, and 2 p.m. Eastern. So every Tuesday, unless I'm on holiday or something. So you're very welcome to come back and also watch the replay later. So yeah, well, that's it for tonight. Thank you, everybody, and I will see you next time. Bye.